What's up, everybody? I am Terry Seaton, your host, and this is On His Guard Podcast, episode 4, The Good. And today is an extremely fitting show for me because for some reason this show may have not have happened. It is actually May 15th, the day the show is supposed to drop, and I ran into some issues yesterday for the first time ever. Total in all my podcasting, 119 shows, and I had the first time my mic defaulted off when I recorded the entire show. So I looked at it as good. Why? Because I got a dry run. I got practice. I built something through that time of podcasting for about 35 minutes is what the show was. Maybe today it'll be 35 minutes. I don't know. But today we're going to talk about the good. So I've done 4 shows now. Why uncomfortable, rooted, the good? Why are you taking a lane in life that is not uncomfortable so you're not rooted in the good? So many of you are doing this every single day, all the time. Whew, I am hyped up today. I'm excited to talk about this. I'm excited to get this information out there to you guys. I hope all you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are staying blessed. I hope you're being healthy and things are going well in your life. It's wild to sit here and think about how this happened to me with this. And I just think back about all the trials and tribulations that I have walked through in my life. And I literally have gone back and dissected each and every event in my life and looked at the good out of that situation. So many people they always want to just think about failure and failure and failure over and over. Mistakes. They never, ever want to look at the good in all that stuff. I tell my athletes all the time, practice, games, doesn't matter. You have a failure, look at it as a learning opportunity so you don't make that failure again or you get better through that failure. It's kind of interesting. So I have this quote on my wall and I printed it out my first day of work, and I've been with my company for 23 years. It says, failure is success turned inside out. I believe that's what it says. Or no, it says success is failure turned inside out. I knew I was going to mess that up. I'm good for it. This is what I do. I got to make fun of myself a little bit. I let my brain lapse there. I did turn 48 on Friday, so maybe I can blame that a little bit. So yay, happy birthday to me. I don't feel any older, but anyway, that statement is something I look at all the time and think about the opportunity that I have in every single failure. I teach my kids this. I talk to my wife about this. I talk about coworkers about this. Friends that I train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with. Failure is not something that is of you. You weren't created for failure. You were created for greatness. Every person on this earth was created for greatness. They were created to have the good in everything that they're doing, whether it's a failure, whether it's a mistake, whether something bad goes wrong in your life, or you're in a valley right now and you're having a hard time getting out of that valley. Well, start looking at the good of it. Look at what you can pick out of that to build yourself stronger, to get a better mindset. It's so crazy when you hear people, they complain about things or they complain about aches and pains and that their body's never getting good or they can't eat well, they're unhealthy, they need to lose weight. They have bad anxiety, bad mindset. All that stuff can be fixed if you get in your mind the right way. Get into what you're meant for, not what this world wants you to be. Because that's what's going to happen all the time. The world right now, and to be quite honest with you, always has been to bring you down. God is the one that's going to bring you up. But that's up to you. You got to dig into that. You got to find a way to have that relationship with God, like I've said on other shows. And you know, I think about, I grew up really rough. I had a lot of people tell me that I was a dreamer, that I would be dead in a ditch, that I would be in jail or in prison growing up, that I would never amount to anything. And I used that. Obviously, I used that as fuel to be successful to where I am today. However, I also used that stuff to build me, to build who I am. Oh, sorry, guys. A little dusty today, I guess. But I I recall all this stuff, and that's one of the reasons why I speak the way that I do, and I try to take the good out of everything. I try to take the good out of bad situations when I'm in meetings or when I'm talking to my kids or even trying to help my wife with her running. I tell people and tell them that don't look at the situation as being negative. For instance, give you another example. My wife, say when she first started running about 5 years ago, she's running a 5K and she was upset because she wasn't getting any faster. But I said, you got to be patient. Just like all of us, we have to be patient. You got to focus and be patient, dig in, journal. Now she's a marathoner. I mean, she can run no problem. She takes a ton of medals all the time. She finishes first or second in her age group almost every race. It's kind of ridiculous, to be quite honest with you, because she has medals and trophies everywhere. But that's a testament to her understanding that everything that she does is a build, and you have to take good from it. You fail at something, good. You didn't you ate too much, and when you're on a diet, okay, good, you better learn from it. You worked out but you didn't work out as hard, good, you better push yourself harder next time. Anytime you ever feel down in a valley, that you have all this burden on top of you, that you're just dragging around, a ton of stress, a ton of anger, a ton of depression, you feel anxiety, you don't want to be around people, and use that time to diagnose yourself with everything that's going on. So many people don't want to dig into things, and definitely now more than ever, because we have social media. So many people use social media, and then it fuels their fire. It fuels them to want to be like whatever they're reading or be angry about what they're reading. Well, what purpose does that serve? Is it serving you a purpose to do that day to day, all the time? Maybe take some time off. On my last show, I talked about how it was hard for me because I took like 8 months off of social media. And when I started this podcast I was afraid. I was really worried about finding the good in getting back on social media because I didn't want to go down rabbit holes and I don't want to read things. And I really like to stay away from negativity because I feel like our world is so negative all the time and it sucks the joy out of you. And actually, with this show, this specific show, The Good, episode 4, I had that happen over the last several weeks. I felt like my joy just kept getting sucked out of me. I had no joy. I was going through some medical issues. If you listen to my last show, I briefly hit on it. But it was terrible. I just felt down and I just couldn't get myself centered back right. Everything I was doing, and it kept me from doing this show. I was getting interrupted. I was procrastinating. I was allowing myself to be lazy. I recorded this show and then I found out I didn't have my mic on and the entire show was recorded with terrible audio and I didn't want to keep it. So I just deleted it instantaneously and I told myself, good. It's good that you failed at this. That way you can redo it. You can go back and you can talk about the same exact things, or you can add stuff in, or you can get a better mindset. And you can go through all this information that you're trying to help coach people and lead people into a better direction, a better mindset. So here I am, and I'm doing it again. And that's what I really enjoy about doing this podcast. The good is got to be looked at in every aspect that you do, but you got to do it right. You can't just sit there and think something is good without doing an analysis on it. Okay. And sometimes that's difficult for people to understand or people to get. So what I encourage people to do is to journal everything that's going on in your life, and or outline it, or just write a sentence down, grab a piece of paper and write some stuff down, maybe some things that went bad that day, and then think about that stuff and what you can pull out of it is good. You heard me talking to other couple of my other shows. Our house is a little destroyed right now. We had an accidental overflow flood, and 3 levels of my house are basically gutted. Ceilings are cut out, floors are removed, all the way down to the subfloors. We have a family of 5 here and 2 dogs. It's been difficult. It's been stressful, but I look at the good at it. It's going to be refreshed and renewed. It's going to be good. My wife's going to love it when it's all done. Yeah, is it going to take time? Yeah, we're going to fight through that, but we're not going to quit. Why would I give up? What purpose does it serve for any of you to give up? God didn't create you to give up. The world is going to tell you to quit and give up, and then it's going to warp your mind into thinking that you should quit, you should walk away, you should give up. I could have thought about that yesterday or the other day when I went to edit this show, and I realized the audio was not through my mic. It was through my PC. So I could have kept that show and just went with it, or I could have quit at that moment. And in my mind, I had that one little thought. It said, maybe you're not supposed to be doing this. Maybe something in this world, which I refer to as the enemy a lot. You guys know what I'm talking about. They're trying to keep me from doing the show, trying to keep me to share things with you, trying to show you things to make you better in everything that you're doing. Failure is not an option. Success is the only thing you can do. And everything that you do in your life can be construed as success if you're willing to look at the good in the bad situation. We, as humans, struggle. I struggle. I'm telling you guys now, I'm being open, organic, and upfront with you. I struggle with things like I just said, with having those little thoughts. Now I've battled them my entire life, and that's why I am where I am. I've seen things when I was younger. I grew up as a poor kid, and like I said earlier, I was told I would, be dead in a ditch or in prison. I would never, amount to anything. I would be a loser, basically. And that was hard. Obviously, when you're a kid, you don't really understand that kind of stuff. But when I became older, obviously got more mature, understood things, started really building knowledge, started studying, started trying to figure out what this stuff really meant. I do credit God a lot in this, because I believe without God, some of that stuff would have happened, because I have had a good handful of near-death experiences where I should be dead, to be quite honest, with a few things that have happened in my life. But I look back at those things that have happened and I say, wow, God never quit on me. The world wants to quit on me. The world wants me to be what it wants me to be, and doesn't want me to listen to God, doesn't want me to have a relationship with God. God's saying, I will never quit on you. I'm never going to stop. I'm going to keep pursuing you. I'm going to keep pushing. It's not even hard to explain. It's just something that you gotta accept. You gotta walk into it. And let's say you don't even believe. You still got to get your mind right. You still got to get your mindset straight and to the point. And you got to, overcome things. You got to look at yourself in the mirror, do an accountability mirror. Speak to yourself. Build a day-to-day dialogue with yourself. Speak to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Don't just give yourself positive stuff. Tell yourself how you can be better. Tell yourself that you can do it. When you're seeing something that says, no, you can't do this, or no, you can't do that, you got to look at it and say, yeah, I can. Now, I'm not telling you, if there's anyone out there listening and you're like, you know what, I had this awesome feeling, I want to quit my job and open up a coffee shop. I'm going to tell you that that's probably a bad idea unless you're pretty business savvy, or you've done your homework, or you've done a lot of work in order to be to that point. Now, I'm also not telling you that you can't do it. I'm telling you that you better get yourself in order if that's the dream that you want to have. Prime example, you go back and listen to my first show. I was very soft tone. I was very, honest and vulnerable. And, I talked about wanting to do this full time. I would love to have guests on the show and just talk to people. I want to hear their stories. I want them to come on my show and teach people how to be better and how they're making life better for themselves. And maybe they can help lead and teach you to do the same exact thing. I don't want you leading yourself into despair and anger and frustration. I don't want you going down rabbit holes in social media. I want you to listen that your mind, it can be corrupted by the information that is around you, by those who are in your life, if you allow it. However, I will say this, every person that ever came into my life, whether it's they pass through my life, short, even if it's a little hello, even if I hold a door open for somebody or shake someone's hand or say hi or how are you doing, for the first very time, I look at that person as someone who deposited something in my life. Maybe I was frustrated that day. Maybe I was having a bad day and that person said, hey, how you doing? Shook my hand, or hey, they held the door open for me. I look at that person and I say, wow, that was awesome, because I'm struggling right now. I'm feeling down right now. I'm not feeling real good right now, but that person made it a point just to do that. So what a gesture. What a gesture for me to look back and say, you know what, there are still good things going on. So there's good in that. And then I can go back and reassess my own frustration and say, there are still individuals in this world, a lot of people in this world who want to help people, who want to be kind, who want to be successful. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys. So many people want to take that comfort. They want to live in comfort. They want to just stay at that mid-level. Let's call it the mid-level of comfort of life. They don't want to climb the mountain to get to the beautiful view. They only want to stay at that mid, but they want it all. They want everything. Jealous of people that have it. It's kind of interesting. I've said this to my football team, and I think it stuck really good. Everyone wants what's at the top of the mountain. They want the view. They want all the goods. They want the cars, the money, the fame, whatever have you, houses, going on super rich vacations. They want all that stuff, but they don't want to climb the mountain to get there. So they want to sit at that mid-level and hate on the people that actually have done the work, and the people who have worked in the dark, the people who take the good out of everything that they do. And those people are the people that won't be successful over time in life. They might have their good little happy, white fence, white picket fence, green grass, little house type deal. But they just want to stay right in that mid-level. They don't want to challenge themselves. They just want to hate on the people that are above them, because they don't like the fact that they can't get their mind wrapped around why that person was able to do that. They're jealous of that. So many people are always jealous of that. They're jealous of success. They're jealous of success of other people because they don't know how to find the good in everything that they're doing. And they don't understand the good that the people have pulled out of every bad situation that they have done. It's kind of dumbfounding to me whenever I see things, whenever I hear some people talk about things. Fortunately, I keep my circle of friends and family really, really good. Or if they ever are in an opportunity for me to speak to them or in a situation, I will be that person who tries to elevate them out of that situation. I will be that person that tries to talk to them, make them feel better about what they're doing in their life, and trying to pick out what is good and what is learning from that. I referred to our house being destroyed, and it was awesome. We had a ton of people reach out. I actually made a social media post just asking for people to pray for us. That's all I wanted. I just wanted people to announce our name, in their prayers, and keep us going forward. But a lot of people, obviously, they're super kind and they're super respectful about it. They would say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, man. Oh, how's it going?" But my return answer to that is, it's going great. I have a roof over my head. I have food in my mouth. I have clothes on my back. My family is strong. My family is faithful. My family has a ton of love. We are very close with one another. At home, maybe not so much out in public. Sometimes my oldest son is, he's a 17-year-old teenager. So what do you expect? But, I look at that moment and I look back at those moments, and I hope and pray that those little seeds that I planted in other people, that'll help them through something traumatic that may have happened to them or may happen to them in the future. That's why I'm talking to you guys now. I want you to start looking at that kind of stuff. You know, what if you're on the road and you get stuck in a traffic jam and you're super frustrated and you're just like, I need to get there. I'm late for work, or we're late for a game, or we're late for this or whatever. And I just want to get there. Think about every other person and every other vehicle that's around you. They're feeling the same exact way. They have the same exact anxiety. Now their thoughts are not your thoughts, and your thoughts are not their thoughts, as my thoughts are not your thoughts. But they are feeling the same exact anguish inside of them, in their heart, constantly, in that moment that happens. And it may fuel them to have a very bad day the rest of the day, because they may not be able to work through the entire problem and issue that happened right there at that moment when they were stuck in traffic, and they allowed it to feed them. Some tip you can do, turn your music up, sing to your music, put something goofy on, start laughing. Listen to a podcast, laugh. Listen to comedy, laugh. Look at the clouds. Look out the window if you're stuck. Stay off your phone. No phones in cars. I think I see more people on phones in cars now than I ever have in my life. Every day. But I also am on the highway all the time, and I see people on their phones on the highway. And I think, man, there's no good that can come of that. But maybe there is. It's not something that I do. But maybe there is something good that can come of that. Maybe, unfortunately, maybe they get pulled over. So then they learn. And they say, all right, you know what? You're right. That's not something I should be doing. It's having that adverse effect of feeling wrong, but doing it anyway. Which is another thing. And maybe I'll talk about that on a show. I am working towards getting some guests on. I'm really looking forward to it. I want to hang out with some people. I want to talk to some people. I want people to lead, motivate, inspire, coach individuals on this show. And that's really a huge thing that I want to embrace. And I want to get better of cutting out, because I realize I say it all the time, and it's probably just my old brain that has too much information in it. And that's okay though. I hope you guys are laughing at that. I hope you guys are making fun of me, because I like that. There's good in that. It's maybe you're having a bad day and you just happen to turn this on, and just now you heard this and you're laughing right now. So maybe I just planted a seed in you to have a good day, and you can tell other people about how goofy I am as a 48-year-old man doing a podcast about leadership and motivation and all that. So I want to circle back just a little bit. I'm not going to keep you guys much longer. I'm going to keep this short and sweet today. But 4 episodes. Why uncomfortable, rooted, the good. The more you're uncomfortable, your roots will grow and you will see the good. The more you stay in comfort, your roots are going to stay stagnant. They're going to die off. They're going to rot away, because you're not feeding them. You're not building them. You're staying in your comfort zone, not doing anything outside of your comfort zone. I don't do that. No way, I don't do that. Stop telling yourself that. Stop beating yourself up. It doesn't serve a purpose for you to beat yourself up. You weren't meant to beat yourself up. The world is what's going to beat you up. You got to ask yourself the question, are you going to allow the world to keep beating you? Or are you going to start beating back? Are you going to start fighting back for what you want to do in your life? I'm not talking about what other people are doing. I'm not talking about their thoughts. I'm not talking about what they think or what they feel or what their opinions are. I'm talking about yourself. Your own internal dialogue, deep down inside your heart, deep down inside that soul that's inside of you. Dig in there. Talk to that. Talk to God. If you believe, talk to God. Have a great conversation with him. Stop feeling like you have to do this strict form of things. It's not that way. People want to say this all the time, and they're like, read this passage and this scripture, and I'm praying about that. That's good. I appreciate that. But I want people to stop believing that that is the only way you need to talk to God, because you don't. It's ridiculous that we continuously feel this, hellfire and brimstone attitude towards people in this world. I'm telling you right now, people can strike me down for this. If Jesus was here right now, you would not see what you see in the way people are treated. People are always like, hey, what would Jesus do? It's kind of funny, because I'm thinking, he's the most perfect person ever to walk this earth. So what do you think he would do? Think he would treat people badly? No, he'd talk to them. He would help them. He would listen. He would lead. But no, it's the world we live in. People just want to bash people down. They don't want the good. They want to live in the bad. So I'm asking you, all of you out there, don't do that. Don't live in the bad. Find the good in everything that you do. Take the uncomfortable route. Get your roots growing. Feed them, feed them, feed them. Journal, and you will see the good in everything that can possibly happen in your life. Yes, even bad things that happen, there is still good out of it. What did you learn? Did you educate yourself on it? We're gonna come and go through this world. We're just passing through. I'm on a train in this world. I'm just passing through. So I got to find the good in everything that I'm doing, because I want to pass that good on. I can't take it with me. When I'm dead, that's it. That's it for this world. I'll be jamming and hanging out in heaven. Hopefully living in a cabin by a lake. I don't know. But we'll see. I'm going to keep believing. I'm going to keep praying. I'm going to keep praying for all of you. I hope all of you guys out there are doing well. I hope everyone is taking care of themselves. I hope and pray that your families are healthy, that you're healthy, that your friends are healthy. I hope and pray that everything is being fulfilled that you want. And I hope I'm planting some little seeds in your head that you can start thinking about day to day, that you can get this stuff right. You have a voice to come to. You have a voice to listen to. I will lead you. I will help you. I will guide you. I will coach you. I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. Even though I had somewhat of a disaster with this show, I refused to walk away. I refuse to accept comfort and just sit on my couch, watch TV, and not do anything. I got uncomfortable to do it again. Time constraints on myself to do this. Still have to edit this show. Edit audio, edit video, get it all loaded up. But I'm going to do it. Not worried about it. By the time you're listening to this, obviously it'll already be done. So, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys greatly. I thank you for all that you have done for me, all the sharing, all the following, and everyone out there. You mean a lot. You mean a lot to people directly in your life, and you mean a lot to me just for being here, just for listening. I'm hoping to maybe get a guest on next week. We'll see. Been reaching out to several different people, trying to get some people who have some coaching experience, and that's what they want to do, and that's what they're leading. Some other people that have some other podcasts, been reaching out to them. I'm trying to build, an audience with people to get the good out of all this. So with that being said, I've probably taken up enough time of your life, and I appreciate it greatly. I love all you guys. God bless all you guys. Stay after it. No quit. Never give up. Until next week, I'll see you later.